would you look at that hot mess that I got going on. So a little bit of bedhead here, Logan here, getting after some morning movement, morning routine, but oftentimes when clients come to me, they're typically busy guys with a heavy workload and just so many commitments and obligations to fulfill. And a lot of them have gotten to the point where they've experienced a few things. You know, they've unintentionally let themselves go physically. So, you know, they'll share with me whether, man, I'm tired of the guy staring back at me in the mirror, or, you know, I'm tired of, like, every time I go in the closet every single morning and have this unpleasant experience of putting pants on, or worrying when the next time my clothes are gonna fit, or like Jesus, like I wake up feeling like it's already the end of the day. I have no eagerness or clarity. There's just this constant fog when I get out of bed, and then that lays over into the workday, and then I end up pushing important tasks the next day. It affects my productivity at work, and then it also affects my ability at my home life to get things done. All these things occur, and a lot of them have gotten sick and tired of it. And they don't like, the belly hanging over their pants, and they want to do something about it. Most of them do. If they reach out to me and they come to me, they're wanting to do something about it. But a lot of them will actually share with me that they're reluctant to do anything, because a lot of things, whether it's from past experiences that they've had, like back in the day or anything, because a lot of the options that they've been kind of handed to them, or they've seen, whether it's from online, TV, in their own local area, it doesn't matter. A lot of them just preach this this notion that you've got to suffer, like no pain, no gain, right? Or that it's got to be just this hardcore beast mode. And don't get me wrong, it works for some people, and it sounds good, and it gets you pumped up, and if it works for you, great. So I'm not dogging any of those, but usually with a lot of my guys, with all the heavy workloads that they have, whether it's running the busy businesses or just leading their teams or whatever they have going on in their life, even with family commitments, the one thing in their head, they're thinking to themselves, man, how much pain am I going to be in, and what do I have to forego in my week, to get to where I want to go? And most of them aren't willing to do that. And it's understandable. They don't want to be in so much pain that it ends up kind of taking them out of commission for everything that they have and the responsibilities they have. But a lot of them think that, well, man, if I want to get in shape, if I want to lose this belly fat, if I want to, get to where I want to go physically, that they have to suffer. Well, I'm going to have you consider, and what I've learned from my experience is that suffering is an option. I can even remember one of my mentors clearly saying that you can't suffer your way to success. Now, don't get it twisted. You may struggle at certain times. You'll have your ups and downs. It's not like success itself, whether it's in your body or anything else. If you're like most of my guys, they've created success in their career and their work life. But the reality is that, yeah, they may have struggled. They've experienced some challenges, but sometimes it doesn't have to be just suffering. If that's what you want, cool. But from my experience, that's not what I've learned, and that's what I also tell my clients as well, is get rid of this idea and this notion that this is how it has to be. And it actually brings me to reminds me of a story of a client that came into the Accelerated Method program, Lost Fit's signature system, which you can check that out over acceleratedmethod.com. But he had came in, and I asked him after he had finished, I said, what were your worries or concerns before ever hopping on board? And he was like, man, I just didn't know if I could do it. That's what always makes me pause, because most of these options out there, or anything that I've experienced before, it's you've got to be pushed till you're peeled off the floor, till you're in so much pain it takes you out of commission, or you got to give up your social life, or you got to start eating like a rabbit and all these things. And it's man, I just didn't know. And what I realized, this is what he said, what I realized is that progress itself does not have to be painful. And so I share this all with you because if you have been on the fence with starting something, just consider that suffering is an option. Sure, you may struggle when you first start. Sure, there may be a little bit of soreness and tenderness, but anybody who tells you that you gotta suffer, if you're not suffering, well, then you're not doing it right. I mean, if that works for you, great. But from my experience and from all my clients, they realize a different notion. So I'm going to get off to actually not suffer because progress itself does not have to be painful. I'm just going to get in 12 minutes of movement before I start my workday. But the reality is you don't have to suffer. And listen, if you are a high-performing, busy guy, maybe you've unintentionally let yourself go physically, you don't like the belly, you don't like the way your clothes fit, you just feel run down and kind of sluggish, whether it's in the morning or throughout the day or when you come home and you want that all-day energy, well then, and at the same time, not have to be in so much pain that it takes you out of commission, you actually enjoy the process, and you want to drop up to 12 to 34 pounds of belly fat without being in pain and without fitness taking over your entire life, well then I encourage you to either, number one, drop me a message, or number two, head over to acceleratedmethod.com to learn more. So anyways, that's all I got for now. Don't suffer. You don't need to. If you don't want to, just don't, all right? Anyways, I'm Logan. Until next time, I'm out.